Working as an AML officer. Working as an AML officer is the first thing is to have knowledge of the AML regulations and FATF recommendations. Working in any financial service institution or entity, the main objective is to eliminate money launderers and terror finances from system and mitigate any possible chances for their entry in the system. Know your customer. For mitigating the chances of entrance of money launderers and terror finances, we as AML officers has to conduct KYC processes for onboarding the customer. In conducting KYC, you should obtain maximum you can get from both documentary evidences as well as conduct interview to understand the customer. KYC is conducted by the KYC officer which move towards the AML officer who scrutinizes the things and verifies through automated system. The automated system will enable systematic KYC where customer details can be captured and AML officer get a clear picture of the customer's documents. While conducting interview, you have to access the customer about his profile, profession and estimate his transactional behavior of the customer. You might ask customer directly that how much volume of transactions as well as amount he will maintain in the account monthly. This will give you an idea how the customer can behave in the future. Besides conducting interview and assessment of behavior, you should have verified the details of the customer as well like ID proof and other details so that no fake details are provided. AML officer will assess the documents and profile of the customer and provide risk scoring through same automated system which has embedded it risk scoring based on geographic location, sanction screening, match and profession as per KYC. Sanction screening. Once you have completed the KYC, the next step is to screen the customer from UNSC and government provided prescribed list. If the person is not found in any of the list, you may proceed to onboard the customer. If customer is found in any prescribed list, you are bound to report the customer in STR to the Financial Intelligence Unit immediately without letting customer know. An onboarding request will simultaneously be rejected without providing the reason as defining details may lead to tip-off, which is offense of law. You might decline the case by telling unavoidable reasons we cannot onboard you. Screening and KYC and CDD should be done through automated system which be secure and efficient enough to tackle any human possible error. Marking risk against every account. There are certain professions are higher risk, so marking them higher risk is important so that the profile review will be done accordingly. Higher risk accounts should be reviewed annually, whereas medium are needed every 2 years and low risk account reviews every 3 years. Transaction monitoring. Once the customer is onboarded, he will perform transactions. There are certain scenarios which I mentioned earlier. We have to review customer transactions according to these scenarios. There are some red flags which I have discussed earlier. If any of the transaction patterns was found to be just like red flag, you should immediately contact the MLRO of the organization. If you are the AML officer and no MLRO, you should act as MLRO and report the STR accordingly. AML officer will perform transaction monitoring through automated system which he will assess and examine the customer transactional behavior. If any practice of the customer found different from his or her profile, the AML officer will initiate enhanced due diligence where customer will be asked for relevant documents to support his or her transaction pattern. If customer failed to provide such evidences, STR will be generated and account will be marked as blocked. Suspicious activity report. Once you are satisfied about investigating the suspect by reviewing transactions pattern, you should collect the customer data, make a copy of it and using GoML portal, shared by the regulator. You should provide all relevant documents and evidences to the Financial Intelligence Unit so they can investigate it further. Mostly GoML is used, or your regulator might use any other portal they suggest. Here is the Suspicious Activity Report. Section A, Reporting Entity and the Officer Details. Section B is the Customer Details. Section C, Reason and Evidences of Suspicion. This is a type of STR which I have mentioned earlier. Here you can see it's a GoML. Training. Training should be conducted once a year for all the staff, which at least highlight the changes in regulations. AML training should be conducted for fresh inductions in organization as well. Duties and responsibilities of AML officer. As per the AML regulation, AML officer will perform the following responsibilities: establishing and maintaining the firm's anti-money laundering policies, procedures, systems and controls, and compliance with anti-money laundering legislation. The day-to-day operation for compliance with the company's anti-money laundering policies, procedures, systems and control. Acting as the point of contact to receive internal suspicious transaction reports from employees. Taking appropriate action to investigate the circumstances in which the report was made and determine the accordance with the laws and anti-money laundering, whether a corresponding external suspicious transaction report made to the Financial Intelligence Unit. If required, making accordance with the AML regulation, external transactions report to Financial Intelligence Unit. Act as a point of contact within the company for the competent regulators and government institutions regarding money laundering issues, responding promptly to any request for information made by the Financial Intelligence Unit in writing, obtaining and making appropriate use of the findings of the government, any government department, the central bank, the National Committee for Combating Money Laundering, the Financial Intelligence Unit, the Ministry of Finance, jurisdictions having material deficiencies in the arrangement for restraining money laundering, persons, group, organizations, entities, or any other body suspected of having money laundering terrorist financing links. Establishing and maintaining an appropriate anti-money laundering training program, whether by himself or someone else, and educate awareness arrangements, and reporting at least annual to the senior management of the company on the matter set out in the draft. Additionally, the senior executive officer has made the MLR responsible for ensuring written reports of unusual transactions, examinations are prepared. AML program. AML officers should review all the policies and procedures periodically to ensure that all policies and procedures are updated and are compliant with the regulations. Here is the chart. What AML officer does. Review KYC, conduct KYC by the officer. Perform sanction screening. If found, enhanced due diligence has been done. Customer is onboarded. Then, when customer is onboarded, enhanced due diligence may be done. If EDDs failed, reporting STR. After the due diligence is done, investigating any suspicion, so as on periodic review of the customer. Transaction monitoring also makes enhanced due diligence. Oversighting organizational operations, review policies and procedures, and coordinating with regulators are not linked with these customers, but is necessary for the AML officer to perform this. Thank you.